Welcome dear student and Jai Swaminarayan. In the previous video, we were discussed about a Newton first law of the motion. So dear student, up till now, if you were not seen the previous video, see first the previous video for the Newton first law of the motion. So now in this video, we will discuss about a Newton's second law of the motion. But before that, let us revise the what is the Newton first law of the motion. What is the Newton first law of the motion? Newton first law of the motion states that an object remains in a state of the rest or in a uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change that state by an applied force. So dear student, when we applied a force on any object, the state of the object will change and object remains or object maintain its state of the rest or its a state of the uniform motion until and unless if it doesn't apply any force on it. So if we apply a force on the object, the state of the object will change. The object will change its state from the rest to the motion, or it will change its motion with the applied force. So dear student, Newton first law gives the definition of the force. Force is a quantity by which we can change the state of the object, right? So now what will be the magnitude of this force required to change the state of the object, right? So for that, the Newton's second law of the motion is there, right? So what is the Newton's second law of the motion? Let us discuss. But before the Newton's second law of motion, we will define a one physical quantity that is called the momentum, or we can say that the linear momentum. So dear student, what do you mean by the momentum, or what do you mean by the linear momentum? The momentum of a body is the product of its mass and velocity, right? What is the momentum? The momentum is defined as the product of mass of the object and the velocity of the object, right? So here if we consider that a mass of the object is a 10 kg and moving with the velocity of the 10 meter per second, so we can easily calculate the momentum of the object by a product of mass and the velocity. So by the definition of the momentum, what is the definition of the momentum? The momentum of a body is the product of mass of the body and the velocity of the body. So the formula of the momentum is equal to mass multiplied by velocity. So here the momentum is denoted by a P, right? Momentum is denoted by a P. Mass of the object is denoted by M and the velocity of the object is denoted by V, right? So from that we get the formula of the momentum. P is equal to M into V, where P is the momentum, or we can say that the linear momentum of the object, right? M is the mass of the object, mass of the body, and V is the velocity of the object. Here the velocity is a vector quantity, so that the momentum P is also a vector quantity and it is in the direction of the velocity. Now let us derive the what is the unit of the momentum. The SI unit of the momentum is kilogram meter per second. We can write like this: kilogram meter per second. Here the SI unit of the mass is a kg and unit of the velocity. What is the unit of the velocity? Yes, unit of the velocity is a meter per second. So from that the momentum of the object is in measure in a unit kg meter per second. So we can write the unit of the SI unit of the momentum is kg meter per second, or we can write a kg meter second raised to minus 1. So SI unit of the momentum is kg meter per second, or we can write kg meter per into second raised to minus 1. Now if the object is at a rest, or we can say that if the object is a stationary, its a velocity is a 0. So we can say that its a momentum is 0, right? So when the object is at a rest, its a velocity is 0, so that its a momentum is also 0. So dear student, understand about a momentum. How we can calculate the momentum? By a product of mass and velocity, right? If the mass of the object is given to you, velocity of the object is given to you, or speed of the object is given to you, we can easily calculate the momentum of the object by P is equal to m into V. The unit of the momentum is a kilogram meter per second, right? So it can be written as like this: kg meter per second or kg ms minus 1, right? If the velocity of an object is 0, right, the momentum is 0. So if the body is in the rest, the velocity of the object is 0. So we can say that the momentum of the object be also 0. So dear student, here the momentum is a physical quantity which when the object is in the motion, right? So momentum, here the momentum is a very important compared to the velocity. Velocity, when the object is in a motion, velocity is important, but the momentum has a more impact when the object is in the motion. So to understand that what is the effect of the momentum in the motion, let us see some example to understand the momentum is a more important compared to the velocity, right? Example number 1, right? A truck is moving at a very low speed, can kill a person standing in its path because of the heavy mass of the truck. So dear student, when a person is standing on a road and when a truck is colliding with the some speed, right, it kills the person. And with the same speed, if the bicycle is colliding, hits the man, there is no damage, no much more damage of the person, right? Because here truck has a more mass, right? So it has a more momentum, right? When the truck is moving with the very low speed, with the 20 meter per second, right, or a very low speed, and it hits the person which is standing on the its a path, right, the it will kill the person because of the heavy momentum, right? So a truck moving at a very low speed can kill a person standing in its path because of a heavy mass of the truck. So dear student, here the mass of the truck is a large, so that its a momentum is a very high. Now similarly, a bullet of a small mass, when fired from a gun, can kill a person because of the large velocity of the bullet. Right? Instead of this, if we take a one bullet and throw with our hand, right, it cannot kill the person. Right? But the same bullet, if we fire from the gun with the very large velocity, kill the person. So in the second case, right, the mass of the bullet is a very small, but instead of this, right, in spite of this, right, the momentum of the bullet is a very large because of the large velocity. So here the velocity of the bullet is a very large, so that we can say that its a momentum is a very large. So if we consider about one heavier object and one lighter object, the heavier object has a very large momentum compared to the लाइटर ऑब्जेक्ट. एक बहुत बड़ा पत्थर है और एक छोटा पत्थर है, एंड दोनों सेम स्पीड से मूव हो रहे हैं, तो बड़े पत्थर का मोमेंटम क्या होगा, ज्यादा होगा, बिकॉज ऑफ द हैवी मास, राइट। छोटे पत्थर का मोमेंटम क्या होगा, कम होगा, बिकॉज इट हैज अ लाइटर मास। सो मास कैन अफेक्ट द मोमेंटम ऑफ द बॉडी। सो heavier object has a higher momentum and the lighter object has a smaller momentum. Understand, dear student? So the motion of the object, when the object is moving with the some speed, right, the momentum of the heavier object is a more compared to the momentum of the lighter object, right. Similarly, if we consider about the example of the bullet, when the object is moving with the more speed, its momentum is a larger, and when the object is moving with the less speed, its momentum is a smaller, right. So two objects with the same mass, one is moving with the very high speed and one is moving with the small speed. The object which can move with the very high speed has a larger momentum compared to the object which move with the low speed, right. So dear student, here the impact of the body depends on its mass and the velocity, right. If the momentum is very large, it affects the more on the object. Suppose we consider a truck. A truck is moving with the very slow speed, right. Its a momentum is a very high, so it takes the more impact on the body, it takes the more impact on the person. So if we take one example, one truck and one bicycle, both are moving with the same speed and colliding with the hit with the wall, right. So the truck will give a more damage on the wall because it has a more momentum compared to the bicycle, right. So the impact on a body depends on the momentum of the body. That means the impact on the body depends on its mass and the velocity. So dear student, understand about what do you mean by the momentum and why the momentum is important compared to its velocity, right. So when the state of the object will change from the rest to the motion or from the motion to the rest, right, the velocity of the object will be changed, and due to this we can say that the momentum of the object will also change, right. So change in the momentum, right, if the momentum of the object change, we can say that the state of the object will be changed. And when the state of the object will be changed, when the external force applied on the body, when the external force applied on the body, the state of the body will be changed, and we can say that the momentum of the object will be changed, right. So there will be some relation between the change in the momentum and the external force. So the Newton's second law give us the relation between the change in the momentum and the external force acting on a body. So let us see what is the Newton's second law of the motion. So suppose we consider that we are moving with the some velocity, right, which we have a some amount of the momentum, right, but after applying a brake, a bicycle will be stopped, right. So in that case we have a some amount of the momentum, and after applying a brake, the bicycle will be stopped after traveling a certain distance, so its a momentum will be zero. Now if we have not a hurry to stop the bicycle, we applying a very small amount of the force by a brake, right. So it covers the longer distance, it will take a more time to stop. But if we require if we apply a very large amount of the force on the brake, right, it will suddenly stop. So in both the case, the change in the momentum are same, but the time required to stop the bicycle, time required to change the momentum is different. In the previous case, if we applying a small amount of the brake, right, on the bicycle, it will take a more time to change the momentum from the some value to the zero. And if we suddenly apply a brakes on the vehicle, right, it will take a less time to stop, right. So the rate of change of momentum is depends on the force acting on the body. So let us see the Newton's second law for the motion. So what is the Newton's second law? The rate of change of the momentum of an object is proportional to the applied force in the direction of the force, right, in the direction of the motion, right. So the rate of change of momentum of an object is directly proportional to the applied force in the direction of the motion. So let us take an example of the bicycle. Suppose we are moving with the bicycle with the some velocity, right, we have a some amount of the momentum. Now when we applying a small brake on the bicycle, it will stop after traveling a certain distance. But if we applying a suddenly if we apply a brake, right, very large amount of the force on the bicycle by applying a brake, it will suddenly stop. So in the both the case, the change in the momentum is same, but time taken to change the momentum is different. In the previous case, the bicycle will take a more time to change its momentum from some initial value to the zero. But in the second case, it will take a less time to change the momentum from some initial value to zero. In the both the case, the change in the momentum is same, but time required to change the momentum is a different. And the ratio of the change in the momentum to the time is called the rate of change of momentum. And the rate of change of momentum of an object is directly proportional to the applied force on the object. This statement is called the Newton's second law of the motion. So dear student, understand what is the Newton's second law of the motion? What is the Newton's second law of the motion? The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force on the object, right. So force is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum, right. So now how we can derive the mathematical formula of the Newton's second law? So let us consider if an object of a mass m is moving along a straight line with the initial velocity u and is accelerated to the velocity v in a time t by applying a force F. So if we consider the object of a mass m moving along a straight line with the some initial velocity u, now by applying a force, its velocity changes from u to v in a time t, right. So initial velocity of the object is u. So what is the initial momentum? So then we can say that the initial momentum of the object p1 is equal to mass into the velocity m into u, and final velocity is v. So what is the final momentum? So final momentum of the object p2 is equal to m into v. So the change in the momentum, what will be the change in the momentum? Change in the momentum is equal to the final momentum minus initial momentum. So the change in the momentum delta p is equal to final momentum p2 minus initial momentum p1. It is equal to final velocity is m into v minus initial momentum is m into u. So we get m is taking common from both the term, m into v minus u. So dear student, change in the momentum is m into v minus u. So now what is the rate of change of momentum? The rate of change of momentum, that means the change in the momentum divided by time. So change in the momentum is m into v minus u divided by time t, right? So got it? So change in the momentum, rate of change of momentum is equal to change in the momentum divided by time. So change in the momentum is a m into v minus u divided by time t. So now dear student, according to the Newton's second law, the rate of change of momentum delta p by delta t is directly proportional to the applied force, right? So from the Newton's second law, according to the Newton's second law, we can say that the applied force F is directly proportional to the delta P divided by delta T, right? So first statement, understand, the rate of change of linear momentum is directly proportional to the applied force, right? So we can write that the applied force F is directly proportional to the delta P by delta T. So if we remove proportionality, we put a one constant, we can write that F is equal to delta P by delta T. But we know that, what do you mean by the delta P by delta T? Its value is m into v minus u divided by t. So we get the applied force F is equal to m into v minus u divided by t, right? So but the change in the velocity divided by time is called the acceleration of the object. So we know that the change in the velocity v minus u divided by t is equal to a. What is the a? A is called the acceleration of the object, right? So from the this, if we put the value of v minus u divided by t is equal to a, we get F is equal to m into a, mass of the object and the acceleration of the object. And this equation F is equal to m into a is called the mathematical formula of the Newton's second law. So the Newton's second law gives the value of the force acting on the object. The force acting on the object is equal to the product of mass of the object and the acceleration of the object, right? So Newton's second law gives the magnitude of the applied force, value of the applied force, right? So this equation F is equal to m into a is called the mathematical form of the Newton's second law. So the applied force is equal to the product of mass m of the body and acceleration of the body, right? Understand dear student? So from this equation, right, the SI unit of the mass is a kg and the SI unit of the acceleration is a meter per second square, right? Or we can write ms minus 2. So unit of mass is a kg and unit of acceleration is meter per second square. So from that, the unit of the force is a kg meter per second square. And by the name of the scientist Newton, we take the SI unit of the force is a Newton, right? So understand dear student, Newton's second law and how we can derive the mathematical form of the Newton's second law.